Good morning, everyone. Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just give me a second. I will pull up. Mm, okay. So we'll start with the first topic of level 2, which is corporate strategy. Now, before I kick off this, there's a couple of points in terms of perspective. Why? Just give me a second. Let me get the charger. Yeah. So, uh, corporate strategy. Why this topic is a part of this program or this learning process, and how do we use this uh, in the corporate side? So many times when a client comes to investment bank or to the modeling team, there are situations where the you need to understand the strategy of the client, because if you don't understand the strategy of the client, then probably again it's practically impossible for you to understand, to probably forecast what they intend to do. The strategy is also important for you to understand in case of M&As, mergers and acquisitions, especially on the acquisition side. If you want to acquire some company, and if you don't understand the strategy of the company, which is target is a company जिसको आप acquire करना चाहते हो. अगर उसकी company की आप strategy नहीं समझ पा रहे हो, then it's possible that that acquisition might be a misfit, because if you acquire a company, that company should align to your current strategy or your probably future strategy as well. So that's the perspective that it's also in valuation as well. If you want to value a company, so the valuation of the company will again depend on the strategy of the company. If there's a company has a good strategy, then of course the valuation would be on the higher side vis-a-vis a company who does not have a good strategy. So ये सब रीजन है जिसकी वजह से आपको स्ट्रैटेजी समझना आना चाहिए. ठीक है. So that's the perspective. This strategy is part of this process. Okay. So the few initial slides which explains what is strategy, वो मैं फटाफट कर देता हूँ because I don't think उसमें इतना ज़्यादा कुछ है. Okay, so keep it simple. What is strategy? Strategy is your course of action. Is your series of course of action. So, for example, if you define a future, okay, and the actions that you take to achieve those goals is called a strategy. So, in simple example, if I have to explain this, so for example, I am at point A. I want to reach to point B. Okay, and यहाँ पहुँचने के there are different options, correct? I can go through this. 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 So there are different routes or alternatives to reach to the point B. Let's assume after assessing each of these or evaluating each of these, I decide, okay, I will choose route 4. This is my strategy because my goal is to reach B, and I've decided, okay, I will go from route 4. That is nothing but a series of actions that you will take to achieve your future goal, and that's called a strategy. Okay. So इसमें काफी सारी definitions हैं, तो आप देख लें, but broadly this is what strategy means. So it's a plan or a method or a series of actions designed or taken or planned to achieve a specific goal. Okay, that is what is called as strategy. Any questions till this point? And because these strategies are taken by or for corporate, these are called as corporate strategy. And why do we need these strategies? The business exists for the purpose of making money, correct? The commercial business exists to make money for the investors, which is return on equity or return on capital. Okay, so that's the primary goal and the objective. Broadly, how can you make this money? How do you make this money? You can make this money through competitive advantage. So when I say competitive advantage, means you are able to do something which your competitors are not able to do, or you're able to do something better than your competitors, then that advantage that you have or the difference between you and your competitor is called as competitive advantage. Okay, now if you have some competitive advantage, that is called as business strategy because it's a part of your business plan. Okay, it's your core business. How do you operate that business? Okay, but we don't try and make a distinction between corporate strategy and business strategy. For us, both are strategy. But ठीक है, अगर स्लाइड में है तो आप समझ लो. बट प्रैक्टिकली जो लास्ट पार्ट है कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रैटेजी बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी, इसमें कोई डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं किया जाता है. ठीक है. And the another broad category through which you make money is industry attractiveness. Now, what do you mean by industry attractiveness? So, industry attractiveness means, for example, uh, a particular industry has a very high margin or high profitability or high sales. So most of the new investors who want to start the business generally gets attracted towards that industry because that industry is giving a higher rate of return. So most of the startups will start shift. But we get inclined towards that industry. For example, currently, of course, before this pandemic effect, most of these businesses were moving towards the e-commerce side because that's the very attractive industry, especially from an Indian economy perspective. Okay, so you will see, you would have seen, or probably once this pandemic effect should get over by Q1 of this year, we are expecting the growth to come back, and then again you will see the same attraction in the market, especially in the SME and the startup segment into the e-commerce business. So that's what is called as industry attractiveness, because जितना ज्यादा इंडस्ट्री अट्रैक्टिवनेस होता है उतना ज्यादा आप पैसा कमाते हैं, बिकॉज उस इंडस्ट्री में उतने हाई मार्जिन होते हैं. ठीक है. सो एंड एंड जैसे जैसे वो अट्रैक्टिवनेस कम होती जाती है, उसमें न्यू प्लेयर्स की एंट्री कम होती जाती है या बंद होती जाती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल टेलीकॉम. थिंक ऑफ अ टेलीकॉम बिफोर, आज से 5 साल पहले, ठीक है, देयर वाज वेरी हाई मार्जिन इन द टेलीकॉम. You would have seen a lot of players entering into the Indian telecom sector, but things have changed in the last 5 years, especially after Geo coming into the competition. Now it's not attractive anymore. The players are finding it difficult to survive, and that's why some of the players in the market have exit. Also, some of them have merged Vodafone Idea. It's because it's not easy to survive. So, which means the industry attractiveness have gone down now. So, this is a broad category through which on which you try and uh, form your strategy. One is on the industry attractiveness, that if I want to attract the if I want to use the industry attractiveness, what is my strategy? Second is, if I want to use and make money through competitive advantage, then what will be my strategy? Again, strategy could be static or dynamic. So static means once you create a strategy, you will not change it. Dynamic, you keep on changing the strategy basis the circumstances, basis the environment. So again, simple example: when you start from point A, you want to go to point B. In Google Map, you choose the destination and you start. During your journey, the Google Map shows that the route that you have selected, uh, there is traffic on that route, but you still decide, no, I will go ahead with the same route which you have chosen at the start of the journey. So that's called a static strategy, because you don't want to change. Dynamic strategy is, again, if Google Map is showing that there's a traffic now on that route, and there's an alternative route available, and you change your route at the right time. That's a dynamic strategy. So now this is brief background in terms of what is strategy. Now, there are different tools through which you evaluate or understand the strategy. Okay? Before we kick off that, just I'm not sure, in case this batch has some students which are from non-economics background. So this one slide is important in terms of understanding industry structure from an economic perspective. So the industry are divided into different types of markets. So first is perfect competition, and these are the different parameters on which these structures are being defined. So for example, what is perfect competition? Perfect competition is that type of an industry where you have too many firms, too many sellers, and too many buyers. Okay, so the example could be, let's say, grocery shops, confectionery shops. In Indian markets, you will see so many grocery and confectionery shops. Okay. Entry and exit barriers. There are no barriers to entry, no barriers to exit. What does this mean? Entry barriers, that if you want to if you want to enter into that business, you do not need any licenses. You do not need any permission. You can easily enter into the business. Similarly, at the same time, whenever you want to exit, you can exit from that business. So there are no major barriers as such. So that's no barriers. Product differentiation. The products are same. So, for example, if you want to buy a bottle of Coke from a grocery shop A, and you want to buy a same bottle of Coke from another grocery shop, it gives you same product. There's no differentiation. So that's an homogeneous product. Information availability. There's no restriction on the information. The information is easily available for the buyer and the seller. For example, continuing with the same example, if you're buying a bottle of Coke from shop A vis-a-vis shop B, because the bottle of Coke, the packing of the bottle of Coke will have all the information in terms of price, in terms of quantity, in terms of expiry date, and stuff like this. So it's something that that shopkeeper will not be able to hide from you. So hence the same information is available whether you buy from shop A, whether you buy from B, and the buyer will have the same information what seller will have. So that probably results in a perfect competition. So these type of an industry or market where you see these characteristics is called as perfect competition. कोई pause है, कोई doubt है यहाँ तक तो पूछिए. Okay. Oligopoly. Oligopoly, where you have few firms. Instead of many firms, you have now few firms. And there are some barriers to enter. The products are not same. The products are different. And information is also restricted. The information supply is not easily the information is not easily flowing from customers, from manufacturers to from seller to buyers. Okay. Example of this could be FMCG. So in FMCG, you have certain decent number of firms. You have product differentiation, though they might call it the same, but in a real world, it is not same, correct? So, for example, Lux soap is different from Dove soap or from Johnson and Johnson baby soap, correct? Now, when you say differentiation, the differentiation could be an actual differentiation or could be a perception or could be a perceived difference. For example, by an advertisement, by the marketing strategy, the shopkeeper, the manufacturer or the company might create a differentiation in the minds of the customer. So that's also a differentiation. Okay. So oligopoly, few firms, some barriers, then there is definitely a product differentiation and restriction on the information. The example could be an FMCG, could be an auto sector. So, for example, the car of Honda is not equivalent to the car from Maruti and so on. So there are differentiation in terms of features, in terms of technology, in terms of branding, in terms of positioning. Any doubt in oligopoly? Okay. Duopoly is same. Only difference is rather than few firms, you have only two firms. That's duopoly. And monopoly is only one firm. Now, because you have one firm, that's why the barriers are so high. The other firms cannot enter into the business. From Indian markets, I can think of one example, which is Indian Railways. So into railway segments, that they are only players who are allowed to operate as of now. Because again, the barrier is the government doesn't allow private players to enter into that segment. So that's a barrier. And because you're a single player, there is not too much of a that the point of differentiation is not too much of applicable, not too applicable because you're alone, correct? आप किससे differentiation करो? And because you're alone, सारी information आप ही के पास है, इतनी आसानी से flow नहीं करती, आप control कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So that is perfect competition, oligopoly, duopoly, and monopoly. Last time, any question on this slide? Okay. So start with the models to understand strategy. So the first model is Porter Five Forces model. So this model was coined by Michael Porter, hence it's called as Five Forces Porter model. We'll get into the what is this model. So this model puts 5 pillars through which one can understand the industry or that market. And what are these 5 pillars? So first is threat of new entry. So threat of new entry means suppose if I'm in a particular industry and I am under constant threat that what will happen if a new player enter into that industry. If I'm under that threat, that is called a threat of new entrant. So for example, in a industry where there is a low barriers to entry, or there are no barriers to entry, so those players into those industry are always under constant threat that new player can enter into this segment. For example, e-commerce, it's a constant threat, especially in an Indian segment. Every day or every month you will see, of course, because of pandemic things have slowed down, but prior to that, every now and then you will see new app coming in for some other for a particular reason, and will try and create competition for the players who are operating into that segment. So that's nothing but a threat of new entrant. Now, if you have a threat of new entrant, what the new entrant will act as a substitute to your product, because if you're offering a good or service in that segment and a new player comes in and start offering a product in the same segment, so that will be a substitute to your product. So again, if the threat of new entrant is high, then of course this threat of substitute products also becomes high. Any doubt in these 2 points? These are the bubbles which are in orange. Threat of new entrants and threat of substitutes. Okay. So if threat of new entrant is high, of course that results in threat of substitutes, which in turn means the rivalry among players will be very high, because if there are many firms who are producing a substitute products, which means each of these products are targeting towards the same segment, then of course the competition would be high. They would be very aggressive competition, because everybody is selling a similar product or service which is acting as a substitute to each other's product. So any doubt in these 3 forces?
Is this applicable for monopoly, perfect competition only?
So monopoly, this might not apply, because monopoly में जो point है कि there is the entry is not allowed, or there are high barriers. So that
monopoly. It can happen only in perfect competition.
No, it can happen in imperfect competition as well. So imperfect competition में भी हो सकता है ना, यहाँ पे भी हो सकता है ना, यहाँ पे भी हो सकता है, ओलिगोपोली में भी हो सकता है. So duopoly में भी हो सकता है, but again the chances are very low, और यहाँ पे तो chances 0 है. तो इसमें सबसे ज्यादा high chances है, then low chances, very low, and almost 0. जहां पे भी barriers to entry low है या allowed है, वहां पे हो सकता है. जहां पे barriers to entry है ही नहीं, यानी closed है, आप entry नहीं कर सकते, वहां नहीं होगा. Is this clear, Deepak?
Yes, because इसमें what we are saying in oligopoly, वो बहुत ही it will not come up suddenly, whereas in perfect competition, these threats can come suddenly.
Yeah, correct.
In a very short duration also.
Correct. Oligopoly में भी sudden आ सकता है, but duopoly में it's not easy. That's what I'm saying, correct? अगर आप लेफ्ट साइड से स्टार्ट करोगे, परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में बहुत क्विक और सडन होगा. ओलिगोपोली में चांसेस कम है, बट होगा तो थोड़ा सडन नहीं होगा. डुओपोली में और चांसेस कम है और डिलेड होगा, और मोनोपोली में तो ऑलमोस्ट ये टेकिंग एज पॉसिबल इज ऑलमोस्ट जीरो। जैसे आप लेफ्ट से राइट की तरफ मूव कर रहे हैं, इसकी चांसेस एंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड द इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्यूरेशन उतना सडन नहीं होगा। ठीक है, so these are three forces. Now let's look at the remaining two forces. So let's start with this, bargaining powers of buyers. So in every industry you have two sides. One is the supplier and another is the buyer. So for example, let's take Amazon. Okay, so Amazon के buyers कौन है, customers कौन है? You and me, we all are the buyers, correct? So for Amazon, do we have bargaining powers? Or Amazon has a high bargaining power? किसके पास bargaining powers? You bargain with Amazon or Amazon bargains with you? Who has a bargaining power between you? You means the customer and Amazon. Again, I'm looking from an Indian perspective, not from a US perspective. The way Amazon operates in US is far different from the way they operate in India. So मैं सिर्फ इंडिया की बात कर रहा हूँ. So from Indian context perspective, who has a bargaining power? Customer or Amazon?
Amazon.
Sorry, Parul, Amazon.
Yes.
Okay. क्यों Parul? Why this
Because we
thought?
cannot offer our deals on the website. Whatever deals or offers or discounts they offer, we have to purchase. So we cannot bargain because it is not anyone who is like offering you live. So we have to accept whatever offer they are
बार्गेन
providing.
का मतलब पारुल यहाँ पे negotiation of the price. It's not that. So bargaining power is not that if you go to a shop, a physical shop, and there's a seller, and then the seller says it's 100 rupees, you start bargaining and say no, give me 90 rupees. This is not bargaining only means. Bargaining also means that when Amazon is putting a product for sale, they are conscious that yes, customers might not purchase this product if I put this product at a high price, and might go to some other e-commerce site and buy, and that puts a pressure on them while deciding of freezing the price. That's also bargaining power.
But instead they can add different varieties amongst the themselves only, no? They add with different prices from different companies into their same portal, so the buyer can assess within that.
अच्छा मैं simple पूछता हूँ. So Amazon wants you to come to them, or who is in need? Amazon is in need or you are in need?
I
अगर
think both.
अगर Amazon नहीं है, so does it make an impact to Indian customers? Or case to a customers नहीं है तो किस Amazon can survive? Let me try and put it this way. Currently in an Indian economy segment, especially in an Indian e-commerce segment, so the bargaining power is on the customer side. Even so, suppose for a 1 rupee, let's assume a particular product which is on Amazon and Flipkart, on both these platforms. Even if, and the product is same company, same brand, same manufacturing, everything same. There are many products, correct, which same product is being on display on both the websites. So even if there's a 5 rupee difference of the 1 rupee difference, you generally tend to purchase a product or put an order on a platform which is offering at a lower price or giving you a better deal, correct? Is that not a bargaining power that you hold? I understand when you're saying bargaining power means you're You're not speaking to someone and negotiating the price, but practically you're negotiating the price, correct? You rather than placing an order on Amazon, you place an order on Flipkart. So is that not way of negotiation?
Yes, that we do. Like we can compare the prices through Flipkart and other e-commerce sites. But ultimately, you have to, if you have to purchase, then you will go for it.
Go for it, huh? But you will go with the player who's giving you best deal, correct? Which means from a seller perspective, there's a high competition, which gives you bargaining power.
Okay.
This is clear to everyone? Any doubt in this?
So this bargaining power again stands with the economic aspect of the company in which they are working. Means they are into the business, like it's a perfect competition or oligopoly or duopoly or monopoly.
Correct.
Is it
For
so?
example, yeah, correct. It's linked to that. For example, in a perfect competition, there would be higher bargaining powers with customers. Vis-a-vis monopoly, may, of course, the bargaining power of the customers is not there, because suppose, let's take an Indian Railways example. Hmm. So, for example, Indian Railways, if I have to travel through road, whatever price services they give, I have to take that only. I can't choose vis-a-vis, for example, airlines. एयरलाइंस में अगर मैं ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ, मुझे लेट्स अज्यूम स्पाइस जेट पसंद नहीं है या प्राइसेस बहुत हाई लग, आई कैन स्विच, correct? So that's why I don't have a bargaining power when I'm traveling through Indian Railways. So yes, Deepak, you're right that the bargaining power is linked to the nature of the competition. If it's monopoly, then you have lower bargaining power, or probably no bargaining power on the customer side, and the bargaining power then becomes on the seller side. If it's a perfect competition, then bargaining power is much more on the customer side, and the e-commerce currently in India is more on the perfect competition. That's why the bargaining power is higher on the customer side. Also, so for example, oligopoly भी discuss करते हैं यहाँ पे. Oligopoly, let's assume प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन, जितना आपके प्रोडक्ट में डिफरेंशिएशन होगा उतना ज्यादा उतना बार्गेनिंग पावर कस्टमर का लो हो जाता है, ठीक है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन बेबी सोप, okay, now especially in Indian markets, Johnson and Johnson baby soap is one of the preferred brands, especially for the young kids or for the infant segment, and hence uh, when you as a mother or as a parent go and buy, probably the bargaining power that you hold is on the lower side because you know the differentiation of the product. Similarly, let's assume if you're going to a restaurant which is well known for a quality of the food or its ambience or a service, whatever, and that restaurant stands out, differentiates itself for that taste or for that ambience, then you don't hold a bargaining power because you know that supplier has a huge differentiation, and hence they are at the upper hand, you are not at the upper hand, and that's why you will see a lot of queues, a lot of waiting time, or people or customers waiting for to enter into the restaurant, because in those situations the restaurant owner or the company starts negotiating and starts dictating the terms. They will say, okay, 20 minutes, आपको 20 minutes wait करना है तो करो, नहीं करना है तो you can go to some other restaurant, but you will then wait. Vis-a-vis if you go to a restaurant जो ordinary restaurant है, आप उसके सामने 15-20 मिनट वेट नहीं करोगे, आप कहोगे चलो छोड़ो, let me go to the next restaurant on the same street. ठीक है, so that's where the differentiation comes in and decides the bargaining powers of the buyer side. So any doubt on this bargaining powers of buyers?
No, because what I can derive is from perfect competition to monopoly, bargaining power of customer decreases.
That's right.
For from business aspect, the companies, it is increases.
Correct. As you're moving from left to right, the bargaining powers of the customers tend to decrease, and the bargaining power of the manufacturer or the company itself tends to increase. And in the monopoly, the bargaining power of the customer is at the lowest or almost zero, whereas the bargaining power of the seller or the company or the manufacturer is at the peak. And that's the reason now you are able to understand. मैंने ये आपको पहले क्यों समझाया industry structure before we are discussing this 5 forces, because this industry structure will in turn help you to decide the degree of these forces or applicability of these forces into the particular industry. Okay. Then you have a bargaining powers of suppliers. Now, just be very careful. The suppliers does not mean sellers. For example, हमने Amazon का example लिया. So यहाँ पे Amazon यहाँ पर है, ठीक है, उसके customers यहाँ पर है, और Amazon के suppliers यहाँ पर है. Amazon के suppliers कौन हो गए? Amazon के suppliers वो हैं जो अपना product supply करते हैं Amazon को for their display, like Samsung हो गया, अगर Apple भी है तो Apple हो गया, and so on. So these are the companies who supply their product to Amazon, and then Amazon in turn helps to sell their products. So is that clear? What do you mean by supplier here? Supplier does not mean the company who's selling the product to the customer. Supplier means जिससे वो raw material या product खरीद रहा है company, that is called a supplier.
This COVID vaccine is an example of duopoly.
Sorry?
The COVID vaccine generated by India, two of the parties, one is Bharat Biotech and the second one is Serum Institute. This is a duopoly, basically.
I would not technically call as duopoly because मतलब मैंने जितना भी पढ़ा है अभी तक उसमें कुछ मुझे खास प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन दिखा नहीं, करेक्ट? सो इट्स द सेम प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है, विदाउट एनी डिफरेंशिएशन, ठीक है, देयर इज नो इंफॉर्मेशन रिस्ट्रिक्शन, करेक्ट? सो और ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि बैरियर्स है, कल को अगर कोई और फार्मा कंपनी बनाना चाहती है या वो उसको वो क्लियरेंसेस मिल जाते हैं, so that company will also start offering that product. It's just because it's a new drug, it's a new composition. That's why अभी कुछ ही कंपनी है, 2 ही कंपनी है जो उसके लास्ट स्टेज तक या क्लियरेंस तक पहुंच पाई है, बाकी अभी probably they are still yet to reach to that final lab. And I think कोई एंट्री बैरियर नहीं है ना, तो आज अगर लेट्स अज्यूम एक फार्मा कंपनी बोलती है गवर्नमेंट को कि हमने बना लिया है या हमने सब टेस्ट कर लिया है, ये हमारे रिजल्ट्स है, हमें क्लियरेंसेस दे दो, द गवर्नमेंट विल स्टिल गिव देम क्लियरेंस. गवर्नमेंट विल नॉट से कि नो ये तो 2 ही फर्म्स को अलाउ है, आपको लाइसेंस नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई प्रोबेबली वुड ट्राई एंड नॉट club this or put into category of duopoly. I understand when you're saying duopoly because अभी 2 ही players आपको दिख रहे हैं सेल करने के लिए, but apart from this one parameter, जो बाकी parameter है दीपक for calling an industry or a market as duopoly, वो meet नहीं हो रहे. Especially जैसे जैसे टाइम आगे जाएगा ये 2 भी probably will become few. I think the important point for me is this point, product differentiation. जैसे जैसे ये वैक्सीन और कंपनीज बनाना शुरू करेंगे, will they have a differentiation either from a marketing perspective, either from an advertisement perspective, either from a pricing perspective? I doubt, because जितना मैं पढ़ रहा या सुन रहा हूँ इसको, especially in some of the other countries, I think ऐसा नहीं होगा. This will not be termed as a product कि आप उसको बोलो कि नहीं मैं इसमें एक्स्ट्रा फीचर डाल देता हूँ तो एक्स्ट्रा प्राइसिंग कर दूंगा. आई थिंक वैसे शायद नहीं होगा. आई एम नॉट प्रीटी एक्सपर्ट ऑन दिस पीस, बट जितना मेरे को रीडिंग से सेंस आ रहा है शायद वो नहीं होगा. वीज़ा-विज़ लाइक जो बाकी ड्रग्स है मार्केट्स में, करेक्ट, बाकी जो मेडिसिन है, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक पैरासिटामोल है. पैरासिटामोल एक बेसिक ड्रग है, करेक्ट, उसको एक्स कंपनी 5 रुपए का बेच रही है, वाई कंपनी 50 रुपए का बेच रही है, ठीक है, थ्रू पैकेजिंग, थ्रू एडवर्टीजमेंट एंड थ्रू अदर काइंड ऑफ इन स्टफ्स, करेक्ट. वो अलाउड है अभी इंडिया में, ठीक है, बट फॉर दिस माइट नॉट बी, ठीक है, because I think government will keep a watch on this, especially in at least in a year or so. तो इसलिए मैं थोड़ा सा भी आई एम नॉट प्रीटी कन्विंस्ड इसको ड्यूपोली में रखना चाहिए.
No, I'm saying from the prospect of, because Bharat Biotech is far younger as compared to Serum Institute, which has worldwide, they are giving the vaccination not for this. They are the largest producer,
correct,
of all types of vaccines. What I heard in and that is a fact also. So in that concept, because the barrier of entry, it's not an easy thing, because you have to create a whole setup for that. We can theoretically say that okay, any pharma company can enter, but practically it will be a very Herculean task for any pharma company to enter into such area.
It is a huge capital intensive setup, that's right, but my reading is there are few more companies who are in the process of testing this particularly in the COVID vaccine, especially in India. But it's just that probably these 2 companies have reached to the final stage, whereas some other companies, couple of other companies are still into the process and yet to reach, and there are different phases of completing these tests. So that's my understanding. So अगर वो है तो फिर ये 2 फर्म्स नहीं हो कि थोड़े दिन में, probably कुछ क्वार्टर्स में या कुछ मंथ्स में 2 से ज्यादा हो जाएगा. So और दूसरा डिफरेंशिएशन का मुझे थोड़ा सा वो है कि ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नॉट एन एक्सपर्ट कि इनमें कोई डिफरेंशिएशन है कि नहीं है, बट जितना मैंने देखा है, पढ़ा है अभी तक, कि कोई डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं है, बिकॉज ये सेम कंपोजिशंस में बनाई जा रही है, ठीक है, और प्राइसिंग में भी कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. एंड सो दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन कि ये आइडियली जो मॉडल है डुओपोली का उसमें फॉल नहीं कर रहा है. मतलब मेरी सेंस ये है कि इसमें फॉल नहीं कर रहा है, बिकॉज इसमें प्रोडक्ट का कोई डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं है, और इंफॉर्मेशन में भी कोई डिफरेंशिएशन मुझे लग नहीं रहा, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट इज विल फ्लोट द सेम इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर कंपनी ए एंड फॉर कंपनी बी. शायद ये आगे जाके चेंज हो जाए, बिकॉज दिस माइट बिकम अ वेरी ऑर्डिनरी वैक्सीन probably after a year or so, and people will start marketing this, and you will see a lot of different features, a lot of different marketing tactics will get attached to this, जैसे बाकी सब drugs में होते हैं, ठीक है. Probably then it will start turning out to be a product. What I'm trying to explain to you is, for me, COVID vaccine right now is not a product. I'm not calling this a product as of now. It's especially in a current pandemic, it's a little different than a product, and hence शायद ये जो structure हम समझ रहे हैं, structure उसके लिए applicable नहीं. It's not a right model to analyze that industrial segment.
And what about the defense sector? For example, right now,
Defense.
not
So defense. So when you say defense, you're talking about the manufacturing of the defense equipments, or you're talking about which side? Manufacturing with the companies hai, correct? Manufacturing with they are companies who so either it will fall somewhere in oligopoly, okay, or duopoly. और probably कुछ defense equipments तो perfect competition में चले जाएंगे, but think most of the segments, especially the aviation sectors हैं, and high-end defense equipments probably will fall in oligopoly or duopoly. Some of them might fall in monopoly as well, because some specific equipments and kind of an aircrafts are produced by only one company. So then if you're only looking at that segment, that particular individual segment might fall in monopoly. But if you're looking at overall defense, I would put this into oligopoly.
Yeah, means now we can derive that it is the product which differentiates rather than company.
Yeah, so company comes in and puts perception, puts structures around that product, which starts contributing towards these factors. कंपनी के आसपास वो स्ट्रैटेजी क्रिएट करती है ना, जिसके थ्रू ये सब बना रहे. फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन बेबी सोप का हमने एग्जांपल किया. हु नोज कि उस प्रोडक्ट में कोई डिफरेंशिएशन है कि नहीं है. I have my own thoughts on this, and अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड है, so there's a case study on Google in Harvard, Johnson and Johnson के ऊपर. So we were discussing that last month. वो भी आप पढ़ सकते हैं. So same concept, correct, कि अगर जॉनसन एंड जॉनसन बेबी सोप एक इन्फेंट के लिए अच्छा है, तो मेरे लिए क्यों अच्छा नहीं? I have no reason to believe वो मेरे लिए अच्छा नहीं है, ठीक है. But that's not the way the company markets and positions their product, correct? They position that this product is meant for the kids, or for an infant segment. So there's a big. I know this is not a marketing or advertisement strategy session. I will not get into this, but it's a perception, correct, that they've created. Why? Through some strategy or a marketing strategy behind that. So that's again acts as a barrier which might not exist, but they have created that barrier, or they have created that perception as a barrier. So of course the company has created that strategy around that product.
No, what I want to derive is that a company is having multiple products, and multiple products can fall in different categories.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Same company, if offering, let's say, five products might be into different segments. One could be in perfect competition, one could be in oligopoly, and so on. Yes, you're right. The next is bargaining powers of suppliers. I've already explained when I say supplier, what does that mean? So let's take Amazon का example हम ले रहे थे. So Amazon वाले केस में आपके हिसाब से उनके suppliers की bargaining power कैसी है? हाँ जी. So bargaining powers of suppliers for Amazon or for that matter Flipkart. Well, most of the suppliers are same. You think they have a bargaining power?
No.
Yeah, so that's also my view that the bargaining powers, for example, to suppose Samsung, if Samsung wants to display a particular handset, so I don't think they hold too much of bargaining power. It's an Amazon and Flipkart who holds the bargaining power. So because they are big enough in Indian markets to decide what product they will let in and so on. So currently in Indian markets, the bargaining power is on with Amazon vis-a-vis the supplier. Okay, so this is five forces model which gives you an understanding of these different five forces to understand उस industry में क्या dynamics है. ठीक है, और इसी को आगे थोड़ा सा और डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है स्लाइड के अंदर. So let's see couple of examples on this. So जैसे हमने थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री की बात किया. थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री कहाँ से आ सकता है? व्हाट आर द पैरामीटर्स व्हिच कंट्रीब्यूट्स टुवर्ड्स द थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री? कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट्स, सेम जो दीपक ने बात किया. एक ऐसा बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना जिसमें बहुत ज्यादा पैसे की जरूरत है. लाइसेंस की इशू नहीं है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल ऑटो सेक्टर, इंडिया में ऑटो सेक्टर. सो इफ टुडे लेट्स अज्यूम Reliance wants to start manufacturing cars. They don't need a license, okay? But they need a massive capital investment. So for them, it might not be difficult, correct? But for some other small company or an individual to start manufacturing cars, उनके लिए काफी difficult है वो start करना business, not because there's a license requirement, because there's a capital requirement. Economies of scale, for example, newspapers, ठीक है, प्रिंटिंग प्रेस. ठीक है, ये कैसा बिजनेस है जो आप तभी सरवाइव कर सकते हो जब इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल हो. I can produce newspaper, but the costing of the newspaper will come down only in a competitive rate when I have large subscriber base or a large number of customers, which means I need to have economies of scale. तो अगर आपने आज एक प्रिंटिंग प्रेस खोल भी दी और आपने न्यूज़पेपर स्टार्ट कर भी दिया और आपके सिर्फ 5 कस्टमर्स, आप सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाओगे. तो आपको इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल की जरूरत है. एब्सोल्यूट कॉस्ट एडवांटेज, आपको ऐसा प्रोडक्ट ऐसे प्राइस बना रहे हो जो कोई और नहीं बना सकता, तो आपके कॉम्पिटिटर सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे. प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन, आई थिंक वी डिस्कस दिस. यू हैव अ डिफरेंशिएशन. उस प्रोडक्ट में कोई ऐसा फीचर है, कोई ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी है, देयर इज समथिंग व्हिच इट इज प्रैक्टिकली इम्पॉसिबल फॉर अदर्स टू रेप्लिकेट, हेंस इट एक्ट्स लाइक एन इम्प्लाइड एंट्री बैरियर. एक्सेस ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल, यू होल्ड अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल. जो भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल है आपके पास उसकी कमांड है, आपके पास उसका कंट्रोल है. सो बाकी लोग जो प्लेयर एंटर भी करेंगे वो ज्यादा कुछ खास कर नहीं पाएंगे बिकॉज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल आपके कंट्रोल में है. Reliance uses this strategy very aggressively. Telecom में अगर आपने थोड़ा पढ़ा होगा तो Reliance through Jio has done this. Government barriers, again, railways हमने बात किया. So railways is one of those where government puts some legal restrictions on entry. Retaliation by established producers. ये अगर आपको याद हो, जब इंडिया में कुछ साल पहले ई कॉमर्स स्टार्ट हुआ था, स्पेशली इन द रिटेल सेगमेंट. सो जो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड रिटेल सेक्टर था, ग्रोसरी शॉप, दीज किराना शॉप, they created this retaliation that these companies will destroy their business, will impact their businesses and so on. So that's retaliation, that the existing players create a protest, create a noise, and try and stop new players from entering into this segment. Similarly, अगर आपको याद हो, Uber and Ola के against भी in some of the states, some of the cities in India, जो जो नॉन ऊबर एंड नॉन ओला जो टैक्सी ड्राइवर्स हैं वो भी they have created in the past some kind of protest or retaliation. So this is again an example of those threat of entry. So any doubt on any of the points under threat of entry? Okay, so then you have threat of substitutes. ये लिंक ही है, अगर threat of entry high होगा तो of course threat of substitute high हो जाएगा, correct? So then you have buying powers, buyer power which is on the customer side. So प्राइस पर्सपेक्टिव से अगर एक प्रोडक्ट का जो so let me explain this first. अगर एक प्रोडक्ट में डिफरेंशिएशन है, so seller holds a bargaining power, not the buyer. But अगर प्रोडक्ट में डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं है तो buyer holds a bargaining power. Competition. If there are so many buyers, then the bargaining power goes down. जैसे अभी वैक्सीन के केस में चल रहा है, कोविड के वैक्सीन के, या जो स्पेशली इन द इनिशियल पार्ट ऑफ द लॉकडाउन एंड दिस पेंडेमिक, when it was at the early stage, mask, these sanitizers, वहां पे इतना ज्यादा डिमांड था कि आपकी बार्गेनिंग पावर कुछ नहीं थी. आप एक शॉप पे जाते हो, एक फार्मेसी शॉप पे जाते हो, वहां पे आप सैनिटाइजर मांगते हो, तो उसकी पैकिंग में पता है वो 200 रुपीज का MRP है, but if shopkeeper is asking for $300, then you don't have a bargaining power. You probably at that time you were paying for it, correct? So large number of buyers, low bargaining powers for the buyers. Price, of course, अगर एक प्रोडक्ट का प्राइस ऐसा है जो आपको बहुत सेंसिटिव प्राइसिंग है, then of course it will make an impact. What I'm trying to explain to you, for example, you go out to a, let's assume a shopping a grocery shop, and let's assume you want to buy one packet of salt, जो आपके मंथली बजट आपका 5,000 रुपीज है मंथली ग्रोसरी का, और 5 रुपीज का आपका सॉल्ट का पैकेट है. तो अगर वो 5 रुपीज से 6 रुपीज हो रहा है, ठीक है, सो it's not on too much of impact of total budget का है, because 5,000 में सिर्फ 5 रुपए की बात करें. बीच अगर उस 5,000 में ऐसा कोई प्रोडक्ट है जो आपकी मंथली बजट का 2,000 रुपीज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट करता है, अब वो 2,000 रुपीज से अगर 2,400 हो रहा है, इन परसेंटेज टर्म्स में दोनों सेम चीज इंक्रीमेंट है, बट सेकेंड वाला आपको ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट करेगा बिकॉज वो आपकी ओवरऑल बजट का ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करता है. सो ऐसे जो प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं उसमें आप आसानी से नहीं मानते, आप उसमें बहुत नेगोशिएट करोगे, आप कंपटीशन में स्विच कर जाओगे. बट एक आपका ऑर्डिनरी, आपका जो रेगुलरली आप सॉल्ट का पैकेट यूज करते हैं 5 रुपीज का, अगर वो 6 रुपीज का और आउट ऑफ ए टोटल मंथली बजट ऑफ 5,000 रुपीज, तो शायद आप उसमें इतना नेगोशिएशन और टाइम नहीं लगाओगे. दैट्स व्हाट दिस पॉइंट मीन्स. देन द अदर पॉइंट, साइज, ये हमने बात कर लिया. जितने ज्यादा बायर्स होंगे उतना कॉन्सेंट्रेशन हाई होगा और बार्गेनिंग पावर कम हो जाएगी. बायर स्विचिंग कॉस्ट मींस एक प्रोडक्ट से स्विच करके जब दूसरे प्रोडक्ट में जाते हैं वो कितना आसान है. फॉर एग्जांपल, आपने कार परचेज किया मारुति का, आफ्टर 3 months यू रियलाइज कि यार मजा नहीं आ रहा है, आई वांट टू मूव टू दी होंडा कार. नाउ इट्स नॉट इजी, करेक्ट, टू स्विच द कार. सो वहां पे आपकी बार्गेनिंग पावर कम हो जाती है. बायर्स इन्फॉर्मेशन, जितना ज्यादा कस्टमर के पास इन्फॉर्मेशन ज्यादा होगा उतनी बार्गेनिंग पावर उसकी ज्यादा हो जाएगी. Last point, buyers ability to backward integration. What is backward integration? The customer starts manufacturing the product. That's called as backward integration. So, for example, you go to a restaurant, and the restaurant may, let's assume you've ordered, let's assume biryani, and the biryani is less than 5,000 rupees per plate. ठीक है, आप कहोगे तो मैं खुद ही बना लूंगा घर पे. Now you can do that if you know how to cook that. So that's a backward integration, that कि customer खुद ही उस product को बना सकता है. तो जितना वो चांसेस ऑफ बैकवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन ज्यादा होगा उतना कस्टमर का बार्गेनिंग पावर ज्यादा हो जाएगा, बिकॉज उसको पता है वो चीजें कैसे बन सकती है. ठीक है, देन सेम फैक्टर्स फॉर द सप्लायर्स पावर्स. ठीक है, जो बार्गेनिंग पावर्स ऑफ कस्टमर्स में मैंने बताया, सेम फैक्टर्स यहाँ पे अप्लाई करेंगे. और जितना ज्यादा थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री ज्यादा होगा, थ्रेट ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट ज्यादा होगा, उतना ज्यादा इंडस्ट्री राइवलरी ज्यादा होगा. ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है जो हम डिस्कस करें. कंसंट्रेशन, जितने ज्यादा सेलर्स होंगे उतने ज्यादा कंपटीशन होगा. डाइवर्सिटी, जितनी डाइवर्सिटी कम होगी कम का मतलब है प्रोडक्ट सबके सेम है, डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं है, उतना कंपटीशन ज्यादा होगा। जितना प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन होगा उतना कंपटीशन कम होगा। एक्सेस कैपेसिटी, जितना कैपेसिटी ज्यादा होगा प्रोड्यूस करने का उतना कंपटीशन ज्यादा होगा। कॉस्ट, जितना आपका कॉस्ट पे कंट्रोल नहीं होगा उतना कंपटीशन ज्यादा होगा। सो देख लीजिए, कोई डाउट है स्लाइड पे तो पूछिए। एनी पॉइंट, एनी डाउट ऑन दिस स्लाइड? So in case no, so ये जो मैंने पॉइंट्स यहाँ पे एक्सप्लेन करे आगे इन्हीं की एक्सप्लेनेशन है। इन केस यू रीड थ्रू दिस, यू कैन रीड थ्रू, बट मैंने एक्सप्लेन कर दिए, ठीक है। सो यहाँ पे स्मार्टफोन का केस स्टडी है। विल टेक, सो लेट्स हमने Amazon स्टार्ट किया था, तो Amazon से कंप्लीट करते हैं इसको। हाँ जी, सो लेट्स प्लॉट Amazon इन दिस, और इंडियन ई कॉमर्स करते हैं, ठीक है। हाँ जी, सो व्हाट वी डिस्कस, अगर मैं इंडियन ई कॉमर्स सेगमेंट ले रहा हूँ, सो थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री यस हाई है, ठीक है। अच्छा, ई कॉमर्स डज नॉट ओनली मीन Amazon एंड फ्लिपकार्ट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल उबर भी ई कॉमर्स है, स्विगी भी ई कॉमर्स है। आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, ठीक है। तो ये सब ई कॉमर्स में ही आते हैं, ठीक है। थ्रेट ऑफ एंट्री हाई है तो ऑफकोर्स थ्रेट ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट हाई हो गए, हेंस इंडस्ट्री राइवलरी हाई हो गई। बार्गेनिंग पावर्स ऑफ द customers in Indian e-commerce segment is on the higher side, ठीक है, और सप्लायर का बार्गेनिंग पावर ऑन द लोअर साइड। दिस इज व्हाट वुड बी फॉर द इंडियन ई कॉमर्स। कोई डाउट क्वेरी है तो पूछिए। स्मार्टफोन के केस स्टडीज में है, आप पढ़ सकते हैं, पर मुझे लगता है वो डेटेड हो गया है, बट दिस इज मोर रिलेवेंट, इसलिए मैंने एक और करा दिया आपको। एनी क्वेश्चंस, डाउट?
What does concentration mean in industry rivalry?
कंसंट्रेशन मीन नंबर ऑफ प्लेयर्स। सो जैसे अगर ई कॉमर्स में फ्लिपकार्ट है, अमेजोन है, स्विगी है, उबर है, ये सब कंसंट्रेशन मीन कितने प्लेयर्स हैं। जितने ज्यादा प्लेयर्स होंगे उतना ज्यादा कंपटीशन हो जाएगा ना।
Okay.
डाउट क्लियर है? कंसंट्रेशन
Yeah.
मीन कितने ज्यादा प्लेयर्स हैं, ठीक है। So this completes the five forces model. We will move to the next model. ये केस स्टडी पढ़ लेना अगर आपको जरूरत है तो, सॉरी इंटरेस्ट हो तो। स्मार्टफोन का थोड़ा सा डेटेड है, बट so next tool is SWOT analysis. Relatively easy है, ठीक है। I think you all know what is SWOT. So strengths, weakness, opportunities, threat. Now I will explain the important part. So when you say SWOT analysis, the difference between strength and opportunities is the strength are internal and opportunities are external. Similarly, weaknesses are internal and threats are external. Okay. So now I want you to think for, let's like Amazon का आगे example continue करते हैं या e-commerce का continue करते हैं. So let's do SWOT for them. So हाँ जी, give me some points under strengths. Amazon के strengths from Indian perspective, from Indian Amazon. आपके हिसाब से क्या strength है उनका? ये सब पैरामीटर्स को आप देख सकते हैं. These could be your reference points on the strengths. हाँ जी, strengths क्या हो सकते हैं? No, you can't think of any strength for Amazon, for Indian Amazon. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
So for Amazon, I think the advantage or the strength is their experience. Okay, because they're not a new player into the segment. They are giant, especially some of the other markets and other countries. They've been there for ages now. So they bring that experience, they bring the technology, they bring that ability to manage these pieces. The second strength is the funding, because they are in they are into huge profits in some of the other markets. It's very easy for them to fund their Indian operations. ठीक है, वो एक strength है जो Snapdeal के लिए issue था, and that's why Snapdeal was struggling, because initial part में आपको profits नहीं हो रहे थे इंडिया में, तो आपको वो funding की बहुत जरूरत थी. ठीक है. So these are some of the key strengths according to me for Amazon. Opportunities. Can you think of opportunities? Opportunity for me is digital payments. The government support towards digital payments. Customers are moving towards digital payments. जितना ज़्यादा digital payments की तरफ move होगा उतना Amazon जैसे business के लिए अच्छा है. Then technology, internet, smartphones. These are some of the opportunities for Amazon. जैसे जैसे इंडिया में इनका usage बढ़ेगा, लोगों का इस पे comfort बढ़ेगा, and again it's a boost for their business. Threat, for me, the threat says securities on digital payments, litigations against frauds. इंडिया में सब बहुत वीक है अभी. आपने एक पेमेंट करा, कुछ इशू हो जाता है, then it's just not easy to legally fight that battle. ठीक है, ये सब threats हैं.
And the biggest threat is Reliance.
Sorry, biggest threat is
Reliance.
Reliance. कैसे threat है?
What threat means?
Sorry.
Something external which is reducing their business.
नहीं, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग Amazon के लिए Reliance threat है वो डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे दीपक, बट Reliance अगर है तो वो ई-कॉमर्स सेगमेंट में है ना, तो वी आर डिस्कसिंग ओवरऑल ई-कॉमर्स सेगमेंट. ई-कॉमर्स सेगमेंट के लिए क्या थ्रेट हो सकता है? अगर आप Amazon सिर्फ Amazon का देख रहे हैं तो ठीक है, आई अंडरस्टैंड. फिर Amazon के लिए Reliance थ्रेट हो गया, Reliance के Amazon थ्रेट हो गया, देन यस. फिर वो इंडिविजुअल प्लेयर्स, एनी बिग प्लेयर विल बी अ थ्रेट फॉर अनदर बिग प्लेयर. Weaknesses, could be most of these players, especially Amazon, Flipkart, they've still not reached out. They don't have that significant reach into tier 2, tier 3 cities. So अभी भी अगर आप कोई tier 2, tier 3 cities के अगर पिन कोड डालेंगे तो प्रोडक्ट नॉट डिलीवरेबल दिखाएगा. ठीक है. So that's the SWOT analysis. फजलूर कुछ पूछ रहे नहीं हो तो म्यूट पे जाओ. So this is SWOT. ठीक है. I don't spend too much of time on this. SWOT simple है, आप लोग काफी करते आए हो. ठीक है. Just keep that in mind. Strength and opportunity में difference internal external है, and weakness is again internal and external. कोई डाउट क्वेश्चन इस स्लाइड पे?
सर स्लाइड में शो नहीं हो रहा है कुछ नहीं.
बाकी लोगों को भी नहीं दिख रहा है?
दिख रहा है.
फजलूर तुम्हारे end पे भी दिख रहा है?
दिख गया सर, दिख रहा है, आप दिख रहा है.
So this is SWOT. Next is PESTEL. So PESTEL, P stands for political. S social factors, E economical factors, T technology, L legal, E is environmental. Okay, so let's continue with the Amazon example or e-commerce example. Political क्या factors हैं जो उनको impact कर रहे हैं इंडिया में? Support from the government on digital payments, support from the government during lockdown for these business, e-commerce business, especially into essential products. Okay, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, Grofers, Reliance JioMart. These are some of the companies who were doing well in these lockdown phases. Okay, so these are political factors. Then social factors. So जैसे जैसे यूसेज बढ़ रहा है इन ई कॉमर्स सेगमेंट में, लोगों का ट्रस्ट बिल्ड हो रहा है. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर दोज ओल्ड डेज वेयर people used to say that they will not buy fruits, vegetables online. They don't have a trust. Fresh नहीं आएगा, grocery नहीं खरीदेंगे, stuff like this. Now things have changed. Things have started changing. Again, this pandemic probably would have contributed towards that mindset, towards that change of the mindset. So that's again a social factor. The other social factors, especially into that particular young age group, is the influence. So, for example, if especially in colleges, so suppose if your friend buys something, then you tend to get influenced. Okay, आप भी फिर Amazon से खरीदते हो, उसने बताया कहाँ से खरीदा. So, especially into low cost products, especially into products like apparel, fashion. So into that segment generally ये trend बहुत ज़्यादा prevail करता है. ठीक है. Social networking sites like Instagram, Facebook, यहाँ से बहुत ज़्यादा business revolve किया जाता है. So these are some of these factors that contribute towards the social side. Economic factors. Again, I think pandemic के अलावा बात करेंगे because pandemic is a lot of things have changed now. Okay, but pandemic के अलावा because Indian economy was again was a decent growth, purchasing power अच्छा है लोगों का, था अच्छा, in terms of social status लोगों का improve हो रहा था, जिसकी वजह से again it brings more demand, brings more purchases, which again is very important for a segment like this. Technology, we discussed about this. Usage of the internet, penetration of the internet, the technology from the smartphone, usage of the smartphone perspective. जितना ज़्यादा smartphone usage होगा उतना ज़्यादा e-commerce के लिए अच्छा है, because the kind of purchases that you do from a smartphone vis-a-vis your laptop or a PC is far different. So yeah, this is special. L is legal as I said, legal issue है इंडिया में e-commerce के लिए, because इतने ज़्यादा strict laws नहीं है, इतने ज़्यादा clear at least enforceability इतनी clear नहीं है कि आप क्या legal battle लड़ सकते हो अगर कुछ issues आ जाए, which means that Amazon ने product deliver किया and the product is not of the best quality and they decide not to take the product back, then can you fight a legal battle? I'm not clear on this right now. So that's a problem, right? So similarly, if you're making a digital payment, उस पे कुछ issue हो जाए, so can you fight a battle? The answer is again is a big question mark. So that's a legal. Environmental. Again, this is something which will hit e-commerce, especially Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy. I think कुछ states में हुआ भी है. So for example, some of the states banned plastic, correct? So which is again a problem, because अगर Swiggy है या Flipkart, Amazon है, when they have to deliver some product, they will use some shape and form of plastic to pack their product. So that again is a problem for them. Similarly, in some states, packing using paper was banned. Okay, so then you're banning plastic, you're banning paper, then how will they pack the product? So ये सब challenges है from environmental perspective. कोई doubt question तो पूछिए.
Guidelines I think to add the country of origin. It will come in legal.
वो Amazon के लिए नहीं है ना, because Amazon को product manufacture नहीं कर रहा है पारुल. So for example, अगर Samsung को अपना handset Amazon के through बेचना है, तो वो guideline Amazon के लिए नहीं है, वो गाइडलाइन सैमसंग के लिए कि सैमसंग को अपने प्रोडक्ट पे कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन लिखना है।
तो वो अमेजोन को ओवरऑल नहीं बोला था कि टू कन्वे टू देयर सप्लायर्स?
तो वो कन्वे टू सप्लायर्स तो ठीक है, उसमें कितना चैलेंजेस है। अगर वो बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है तो हम फिर लीगल फैक्टर्स में डाल सकते हैं, बट टू मी वो बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना। वो तो मैं सब अपने उसको सप्लायर्स को बता दिया कि भैया कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन आपको बताना है और वो डिस्प्ले में आना चाहिए। माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो ज्यादा इशू नहीं है ना, वो उनके लिए इशू, उनको अपनी पैकिंग चेंज करानी पड़ी। उस स्पेशली अगर कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जिसका कोई लिंक चाइनीज मार्केट से है तो वो एक नेगेटिव परसेप्शन क्रिएट करेगा। तो वो सब चीजें हैं। टू मी फॉर Amazon इट्स नॉट अ बिग इशू, इट्स एन इशू फॉर द एक्चुअल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग।
In case of Amazon, who is responsible for the product quality?
वही मैंने कहा ना, वो इश्यू है अभी इंडिया में, वो इतना क्लैरिटी नहीं है इंडिया में अभी कि कौन किसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपको एक प्रोडक्ट डिलीवर होता है, वो प्रोडक्ट अच्छी क्वालिटी का नहीं है या उसमें कुछ इश्यूज आते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो अभी इंडिया में इतना क्लियर नहीं है। यूएस में बहुत बहुत सिंपल है ये, करेक्ट, इट्स द कंपनी हु ओन्स द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, और आपको किसी के पीछे नहीं भागना। आपने जिसको पेमेंट करी है वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ओन करता है। यहाँ पे नहीं है, यहाँ पे वो कहेगा उसकी वारंटी है, वो कहेगा उसकी वारंटी है। सो देन probably as a customer you probably will have a lot of difficulties, especially legally enforceability इतना आसान नहीं है, इतना क्लियर नहीं है, तो वो इशू है अभी। हाँ जी, any other doubt on this pestle analysis? ठीक है, सो हमने सॉर्ट किया है, 5 फोर्सेस किया है, पेस्टल किया है, ठीक है। अभी आपको क्या करना है, इसमें काफी सारे, जैसे मैंने ई कॉमर्स का एग्जांपल लिया, इसमें काफी स्टील इंडस्ट्री, फैशन, ऐसे काफी सारी इंडस्ट्रीज हैं। तो आप वो भी पढ़ सकते हैं, बट व्हाट आई वांट यू टू डू, select a particular company or an industry, try and link it to the Indian market side, and उसका आपको 5 पोर्टर 5 फोर्सेस मॉडल एनालिसिस करना है, सॉर्ट करना है, पेस्टल करना है। ये 3 चीजें आपको करनी है। आई रिपीट, व्हाट इज अ टास्क, सिलेक्ट अ कंपनी और इंडस्ट्री, आई लीव इट टू यू। अगर आप इंडस्ट्री सेगमेंट करना चाहते हैं वो भी कर सकते हैं, कंपनी लेना चाहते हैं वो भी ले सकते हैं। आप ई कॉमर्स अब नहीं ले सकते बिकॉज ई कॉमर्स मैं डिस्कस कर चुका हूँ, वो कर रहा हूँ। उसके अलावा कोई भी इंडस्ट्री पिक कर सकते हैं, कोई भी कंपनी पिक कर सकते हैं। ट्राई एंड प्रेफर टू एनालाइज मोर फ्रॉम इंडियन इकोनॉमी और इंडियन बिजनेस ऑपरेशंस पर्सपेक्टिव। उसका उस पे आपको 3 टूल्स लगाने हैं, 5 फोर्सेस मॉडल, पेस्टल एंड सॉर्ट। क्लियर है क्या करना है? एनी क्वेश्चन, डाउट जो आपको टास्क दिया गया? ठीक है, तो ये आप करेंगे। कुछ और टूल्स भी बाकी हैं, वो मैं आपको कल कराऊंगा, और फिर वीकेंड तक आप ये बाकी जो टूल्स है वो भी उस कंपनी पे एनालाइज करेंगे, एंड देन विल डिस्कस दोस एनालिसिस ऑन द वीकेंड, ठीक है।
I want to understand where we are right now. तो हमारा मॉडलिंग कंप्लीट हो चुका है?
नहीं, मॉडलिंग कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, मॉडलिंग का आपका सिर्फ एक पार्ट कंप्लीट हुआ। मॉडलिंग के आसपास, मतलब मॉडलिंग आपका 30 to 40% के आसपास कंप्लीट हुआ है, ये लिटिल 40-45 समझ लो आप, वैसा हुआ।
तो अभी
उसको
हमने वैल्यूएशन की जगह कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रेटजी।
नहीं, अभी मैंने लेवल 2 स्टार्ट किया, तो लेवल 2 में पहला टॉपिक कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रेटजी है, हम वो कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद आगे वैल्यूएशन आएगा। जब ये कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रेटजी और वैल्यूएशन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा आपका, तो हम मॉडल पे जाएंगे और वापस वैल्यूएशन लगाएंगे, फिर आपका मॉडल का वो सेकंड पार्ट कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। जैसे जैसे हम थ्योरी करते जा रहे हैं वैसे वैसे उसका प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट करते जाएंगे।
सर तो हम लोग का जो फोरकास्टिंग जो करना था कंपनी का, और तो फिर वो कैसे होगा?
कौन सा कंपनी का?
कोई लिस्टेड कंपनी हो या फिर स्टार्टअप कंपनी का ही हो तो।
हाँ तो वो तो स्टार्ट करो ना। आप कोई कंपनी सिलेक्ट कर लिया आपने?
हाँ सर,